It's a beautiful time. It's 10:05 Eastern Standard Time, and of course, 2:05 p.m. Liberian time. Wherever you are this hour, I want to welcome you to a brand new edition of Issues of Today, live from Liberia Public Radio Television from our central studio here in Monrovia. I want to say a beautiful afternoon. This is a program that will discuss issues of national concern, issues that have to do with the growth and development of our country, Mama Liberia. We discuss it right here on Liberia Public Radio. Liberia Public Radio is here to stay, like we continue to say. Well, last week, my colleague Joshua Wright was here while I was on assignment, top member. So he did present issue of today on my behalf. But however, I'm here today, and it's a very beautiful weather. It's a very beautiful weather here in Monrovia. From our cruising studio in Monrovia, I want to say welcome. So wherever you are listening to us, wherever you are doing this hour, we want to say is our pleasant way to welcome you to issues of today on Liberia Public Radio. Well, what's coming up today? We're going to be discussing series of issues. This issue about the death of some auditors in Liberia, we've been talking about it. But again, this has taken another dimension, a dimension that many are wishing to hear. So we're going to continue our advocacy about it because, as we all know, the auditors autopsies were being conducted on the bodies of the auditors, but again, we have yet to get the final result. According to some information we've been gathering, is that in 14 days, the result of the autopsies that were conducted on the four financial officials that were mysteriously found dead in Liberia in early this month will be brought to the plain light. Howbeit, while in that process, the Internal Audit Agency has been conducting some audits on the COVID-19 fight. So this is what we're going to be looking at here this afternoon from Liberia, this morning from the U.S., where Mr. Alfonso Zianso is base. We will also be looking at some other pertinent issues that has to do with the growth and development of Mama Liberia. We're going to be talking about it. As we all know, the political process is still placed on hold. We don't know as to when the preliminary injunction or the injunction on the electoral process is going to be lifted. But howbeit, political pundits continue to suggest that probably because the way things are, they're suggesting that probably there will be some level of extension because of the way things are currently. But again, the National Elections Commission has not come out to say that whether there will be any other extension. But again, we're going to see how it's going to be like and how things will go like. So keep watching Liberia Public Radio live from Monrovia. This is Issues of Today. In case today is the very first time coming our way, my name is Mark. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at this hour. On your side in America is on the East Coast is 10 a.m. 10:09 Eastern Standard Time, and in Liberia is 2 p.m. GMT. So I want to welcome every one of you who are just joining us this hour. Let's take this brief out to be right back.
You are too
Okay, welcome back wherever you are. Yahweh, you are too much for me. And thanks to Minister Winnie, the Gola Queen, for him musing of this hour on issues of today. Live coming to you from our main studio in Monrovia. Howbeit, we want to welcome you in case today is your very first time to join this conversation. This is where we discuss the latest happenings about Liberia and beyond uh, in the US. So today, like I said, one of our main talking points is going to be the audit report. You know, Mr. Emmanuel Batin Yensua, who was found dead at his home along the boulevard in Monrovia some weeks ago. He was heading the one of Liberia's most prestigious integrity institution, that is the Internal Audit Agency, prior to his death. So there has been speculations that why is it that only the auditors are being victimized by this mysterious deaths. So the issue has been revealed according to preliminary investigation issued by the audit. This is what we're going to look at this afternoon. Preliminary audit report has uncovered that the government of Liberia's COVID-19 budget has been expanded, that is, by the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, and the Ministry of Health was not approved by the legislature in line with the Public Financial Management Act of 2009. As you all know, the government of Liberia adopted the Public Financial Management Act in 2009, and since that time, every budget is been approved by the national legislature. Everything that has to do with national budget, thing that has to do with concession, thing that has to do with just in the national interest are always been approved by the national legislature. So, according to preliminary reports by the Internal Audit Agency, where Mr. Emmanuel Yensua was the head, that later on he fell prey to the cohorts of debt. Uh, Money that was given by international donors, including local donors here in Liberia, was never approved by members of the legislature. So the report is so damning. I can say it's so damning. The audit was conducted by the Internal Audit Agency uh, uh, under the supervision of the late former director general of the Internal Audit Agency, Mr. Emmanuel B. Nyenswa, before his sudden death, also revealed that the expenditure of funds was marred by inconsistencies that could lead to the misapplication and misappropriation of funds. As a result, the IA said the audit, the Ministry of Health of thousands of Liberians could be jeopardized and untimely lead to the loss of lives. You know, when the Liberia first confirmed a case of the COVID-19 on March the 16th, 2020, at that time, the IMF, the World Bank, and other international donors were already having planned, they have put in plan certain money to give it to countries that were fighting COVID-19 then. Then Liberia was not part of those who were fighting COVID-19, because at the time Liberia hasn't had any case of COVID-19. So, uh, fortunately or unfortunately for Liberia, Liberia got a case on Monday, the 16th of March. The former head of the country's Environmental Protection Agency, I'm talking about Liberia, Mr. Nathaniel Blama, was confirmed as the first case of COVID-19 in Liberia then, thus qualifying Liberia for some monies to be given to Liberia for the fight for COVID-19. You know, the international donor will always give money, and they will call for proper audit. They will also call the country to put in place transparency, because these monies that we usually use, people in the NGO, including us, they are always from taxpayers' money elsewhere, whether in America, whether in Europe, they are all taxpayers' money. So as such, they will always call for appropriated use, or appropriate use of it. I worked for USAID project before. I know the kind of standard they do put in place to ensure that everything goes well. But from that particular preliminary report that we have gathering from the internal audit agency, it seems to me that there were been some serious gross financial improprieties that do occur with the preliminary audit report. Though according to the information that we have gathered so far, Mr. Yensua and others auditors were working on this particular audit report for the final cabinet to be presented to the President of Liberia, His Excellency George Manewia Bekube. But while in that process, it was just few days to the submission of the preliminary report to the office of the president. And then he suddenly met his demise at his home, where the report have it that he fell from the back porch of a one-story building. So before this money was being remitted to the government of Liberia account, there were companies, there were some other local groupings that did some donations to the government of Liberia. All of these monies, according to this preliminary report, I'm just going to go through some details here, were never accounted for. So let's just read some pieces from the preliminary report. Right after Liberia recalled COVID-19 case on March 16, President Weah set up the Special Presidential Advisory Committee on COVID-19, that's SPACO, to build a robust national control, coordination, and command mechanism in order to contain the spread of the deadly disease. The incident management team was reactivated, or was activated by MPhil with the Director General, Mr. or Dr. Musaka Fala, serving as the incident management manager and head of the response team from February 2 2020 to April 15, 2020. On April 16, the responsibility for the management of the COVID-19 response was transferred to the Minister of Health. What for? We didn't know what was the true intent of it. So on this day, the 16th of April, the responsibility of the management of the COVID-19 was transferred to the Minister of Health, Dr. Wilhelmina Jala, as the chairperson of the IMS, assisted by several officials from both the Ministry of Health and MPhil, that is the National Public Health Institute of Liberia. And then we go to that happened before the coming to being of the funding that we are talking about, of the money. Later, the money came in. So let's see what happens when the money came in. Although the IA did not point out whether the total COVID-19 response budget was realized, it noted that the government of Liberia's initial support to the COVID-19 fund in the tune of $750,000 and the cash donation of $246,300 were commonly or mixed with the with the Ministry of Health. So that's financial word. Operational account at the Central Bank of Liberia from February to April 13, 2020. Out of the donated amount, the President of Liberia, George Weah, contributed $50,000, UBA $150,000, EcoBank Liberia $20,000, the Deputy Finance Minister for Fiscal Affairs 2000, Afenet, that's another organization in Liberia, contributed $24,200. By combining the fund, the ISA, that's by getting it mixed up, that's a financial word, comingling. The IASA, the IMS breached the Emergency Standing Operation Procedure Subsection 7 COVID-19 IMS Benecan and signatures, which says, because before this actually happened, there were standard and procedure put into place to ensure that monies that will be coming to the government of Liberia are properly accounted for. And then procedure and operation standards were being set up. But let's see how it actually happened. The COVID, and this was the standard of the COVID-19 uh, operational standard. The COVID-19 IMS, that's the Incident Management of Systems, should operate a bank account, a banking account at the central bank of Liberia or the commercial bank as deemed fit. The account should be operated in dual currencies, which was United States dollars, of course, which is Liberia legal tender, and also the Liberian dollar, managed by the following signatories. So let's see who are those that were signatories to the money that has been unaccounted for that we are talking about. Like I said, today we're going to be looking at this a bit of detail. Then from there, we will open the lines and also join our correspondent to talk about other issues. But this is very serious. You know, the COVID-19, up to this time, the government of Liberia, from her personal initiative, set aside 25 million US dollar. In this particular money, there have been no head and tail. Like we usually say in Liberia, no head, no tail. But again, who's responsible for this? We're going to be finding out as well. So let's go to the signatures of those people that were accountable for the monies at the central bank or at the ministry of, or at any commercial bank for that matter, that they were talking about. So the chair of the management team or system was signatory A. That's the Minister of Health. That's the Minister of Health was signatory A. The Deputy Incident Management System, also from the Ministry of Health, was also signatory A. I mean, it's also because I believe that this particular money is still, is some of them are still in the bank accounts of the various operations. The deputy, okay, the uh the deputy incident management system at Enfield was also signatory A. So we had three signatories A. We have the counter response coordinator, which is also from Enfield, signatory A. The deputy incident management system for finance administration from Enfield was signatory B. The chief accounting from the Ministry of Health is signatory B also to this money that we are talking about. As a result of the mixing of the fund, the IS stated funds may not be properly accounted for and could lead to misappropriation or misapplication. The situation could lead to increasing in cases that could overwhelm the system, the health system, and result to the loss of many lives. The IAA also claimed that it did not receive bank statements and reconciliation reports for period February 2 of April, let's say April 2020, despite several requests made to the IMS team. So you know, when you always have donor money, anytime you take a penny, there should be a report from it, because you won't take money from, like I said from the beginning of this show, the donor will give you that money. Some of those monies that we use are from or taxpayers elsewhere, whether in Euro in America. So when those monies come, there's a need that those who are ahead of it properly account for it. So the report is very much long, very much voluminous, but we're gonna just take it bit by bit, and analyze it, and then we open the lines so that you can also make your input on issues of today on LPR TV. In addition to all of what we were saying, the IA pointed that the MOH in the IMS, that's the Ministry of Health in Liberia, the Incident Management System, joint account at the central bank, if not authorized by the Controller General, whom contradict the PFN law. Yes, I talk about the Public Financial Management Act of 2009. This is a law that governs every public financial transaction in Liberia. The PFN law states that any public officer who opens or operates any bank account for government agency which is not authorized by the Controller General is in breach of the financial disciplines such as defined in sub-regulation 20 section 1 20.1. Let's say any bank account that opens an account any bank that opens an account for any government agency without authority of the Controller General is in breach of these regulations and liable to be sanctioned by the Central Bank of Liberia. The balance of every bank account as shown in a bank statement shall be reconciled with corresponding cash book balance at least once every month. The reconciliation statement shall be filed or recorded in the cash book for reference to the date and number thereof. Again, folks, this was never followed up. So let's see some of the dubious transactions that led to this audit that some newspaper are cashing at millions and vanish in the COVID-19 fight. For example, there was $71,500 transaction concealed. With detailed illustration, the IAA reported that a check value 71,500 check number 000 blah 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 in favor of one Kwekwe Piwu and an internal staff of Enfield was encashed through the Central Bank of Liberia on May the 4th without voucher. You know, the financial system, whenever you want to spend money, especially public money, you should raise what we call voucher, because the voucher will tell you in detail SYZ, this is SYZ money is going to, this money will be going to Mr. X. This is the tax that Mr. X performed in XYZ. But according to the IA report, $71,500 US dollars went without any voucher. That was one of the huge things that happened within the COVID fund or with the COVID fund. Then again, the IA also recorded no evidence of advance payment liquidation. People just when they will take the umbrella or they take one of the staff from within, it's either from the Ministry of Health or from Enfield, and they just pass some money through their names. It was so much demeaning. In this report, there's a need that the international community takes it serious, and if they follow $8 million that were earmarked by international donor for the fight of COVID-19 Liberia, if there's no proper accountability on the ones that are already been remitted to the government of Liberia account, we advise that international donors should just hold onto the remaining funding until proper accountability add on to the remaining funding. So let's go to this other one that said no evidence of advance payment liquidation. Under this section of the audit report, the IA revealed that the Ministry of Health made advance payments in the names of personnel, valued at $7,261 and 2,900,800 Liberian dollars, and there was no evidence of liquidation for cash advances paid to these employees. So let me just say, though I don't have vast knowledge on financial stuff, but when they say liquidation is something that, if for example, Liberia Public Radio, let me just show you an example from our institution. If for example, Liberia Public Radio gives me $20 to buy 2 cups, or let's say two paint for reporters assigned here in Monrovia, and then I bought a paint. There were no receipt given to me from the buyers to authenticate that I purchased 2 paint for reporters. That is a gross breach of financial policy. You don't do that. And then, in terms of activities, if you say you are giving maybe 20 staffs for your institution, again to Liberia Public Radio, maybe for example, our donors gave me $200 for reporters to go and cover certain issue or event that they need transportation. I just took the money, gave it out without any documentation to say, oh yes, Mr. S went to Basel, he spent 2 days in the hotel, he did this, he did this. That's a gross financial policy breaching. It's not good. Again, Liberia is a country that they don't appreciate integrity and sincerity. So again, this is a country that we found ourselves in. So I'm just going to look at it session by session. So a DSA or pay, like we said, some of the advancement payment cover DSA for contractors, publicity, material repairs, among others. For example, let me just read one of the damning one. For example, on February 14, 2020, and the month of, is it February? Oh, February COVID-19 was not yet. Probably this date was not probably catch up. On February 14, 2020, and a month of $1,250, $350 with voucher PV00 blah 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 was advanced to Mr. Lasana Kroman for DSA for 10 contractors in Region 1 and Region 2. That was the COVID-19 fight. On that same day, $500 with voucher, with another voucher number PV blah 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 blah, went to one Victoria Smith Mobile for vehicle servicing and repair. And on March 10, but how come the dates are followed back in? And they're dating this or what? Another $500 voucher was also given to one Elizabeth Kwame to purchase consumable for CMOs. That's should be community health officer or something. On April 3rd, 2020, $297 with voucher number again, PV blah 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 32. Advance payment was made to Calvin Coleman for health PC for Ministry of Health for CPU usage and blah blah blah. So these are some of the monies that went to thin air without any proper accountability. Let's continue. On April 6, 2020, Liberian dollars 686,000 with voucher number PV 2008 was advanced to the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism, but the IAA did not receive any liquidation report and no listing of media institution that received the cash. Imagine we will send our reporters to the Ministry of Information for the regular press briefing on COVID-19 then, and they will go there. Ministry of Information will not be able to even give those reporters a dime, like in the form of water, though it's not compulsory, but in the form of cold water and so forth. Maybe if they were to do, sometimes it's not more than 500 or 900 LD, but again they are receiving such an amount for that purpose, 600 plus $1,000. On April 13, 2020, the sum of 2,116,800 Liberian dollars was advanced to MICAT, that's the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism, but no liquidation report or disbursement or activities log. Mika, where did this money go? Well, Minister Fagon and Minister Nangwe, then Minister Nangwe, they are aware where this particular money went. And so many other small funny went into thin air, thus violating uh, the Public Financial Management Act of 2015. So let's look at some of the huge payments that were done without contract. You know, if you are operating a project, before you I don't want to use big word, before you consummate a particular activity in the form of spending certain money, there should be some level of contract between your entity and that of the vendor, the particular vendor, or the clientele that you're going to give that particular money to, or the contractee. But according to the IAA report, a total of 902 service contracts valued at 355,960 were submitted for review and sampled 50 contractors that were traced to payroll representing 5.54 or 5.54 of the total amount. It observed that a hazard payment made to 50% for February, March, and April without signatures and approved for contracts. So several other discrepancies occur. Again, another money value of $79,212. It was not accounted for. It is in the job report. The IA further stated that a reviewed payment vouchers totaling $188,740 written to Rhoda K. Weir, Conan D. Rowers, and Michael Howard to pay March advances for personnel working on vehicles, and observe that 900 or $79,212 could not be accounted for. The people just go and write huge money and nothing come out of it, folks. You're watching LPR television live from Monrovia. Issues of today, we're just discussing the preliminary audit report by the Internal Audit Agency. So there were so many payments that were done without any proper documentation, discrepancy in disbursement of compensation, and so many. But let's look at some of the permanent payments that were done. And for example, there were some businesses that are not registered, and then the COVID-19 fight went ahead, giving them some huge funding without any business registration and without any proper competitive bidding process. So there were so many of them. There were so many. According to the IA, on April 2, 2020, the Bata Construction Company Limited, registered as a construction company, was paid 1,200 and 1,176,000 and 2 million and 1,225,000 on vouchers, blah 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 blah, for the supply and delivery of 100 pieces of litter cover mattresses and 25 pieces of television sets capacity for star-based observation center. So again, a construction company delivering mattresses. This is some of the irony, my folks. Construction company delivering mattresses. How can you are registered as a constructing as the construction companies, but then you are involved mattresses delivery? How can Ministry of Health and the IMS reconcile this? For example, we are registered as media institution, like we are non-profit media. We are not doing any media related thing, and then we are selling health products, and then the Ministry of Health will go ahead and give us contract. How come? How come, for example, you are giving Library Radio a contract for 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 buying PPEs? Are we medical people now? These are things that happen during the COVID-19 fight, or that are happening within the COVID-19 fight, folks. And they are very damn. We want to say thanks for watching us, all those that are joining us this hour. Thanks to Richard Watson, who says she's watching from a job site. Richard didn't say where he or she is watching from, location. If you can just include your location, Richard, we will be glad to hear from you as well. If you want to participate, this is the number right there on your screen that you can call and participate. It's a WhatsApp number from Liberia. You can call and participate, whatever you want to say about this audit report released by the incident management or by the Internal Audit Agency of Liberia, the IAA. Okay, so let's continue with the reports, the preliminary reports coming from the IAA. Several transactions were carried out without proper financial regulation or procedure put in place by the Ministry of Health or the MPO and that of the incident management team. A lack of procurement plan and no objection authorization from PPCC. The Public Procurement Commission and Concession Law states that any public contract, that is money coming from government, anything as such should pass through the PPC process. That is, it has to go through a bidding process, and after the bidding process, a competitive bid will be announced, at least published in maybe a few newspapers, and then the bid will be the contract will be bidding or will be bid that the winner of the bid will be announced. But according to the IA report, there were nothing that done during for the COVID-19 fight. The IAA also reported that the Ministry of Health and MPO's COVID incident management systems committed government Liberia by entering into several contracts with vendors, for example, hotels, for rooms, rental, and feeding for a period February 2020 to May 2020 in a month of 913,675 without adherence to the PPCC. Even though one may say, oh yes, Mark, it was an emergency situation. But again, in February, when the government of Liberia started to quarantine those who were coming from COVID-19 hotspot, they were not huge or hurried to say that we can put out a bid so that those who are interested, those who are hotels, those who have a good place can bid for, and then we can use that place. They hurriedly went and selected their colleagues, their cronies, and then they gave them contracts. You're going to hear some of their names in this preliminary audit report by the IAA. So they violated the PPCC law and several other regulations. For example, some of the contractee or the contractors, their names are in the chart here. For example, Kalano Hotel, February 24 to March 23rd, 2020. They gave him 50,000. They also gave him March 20 to March 2023 to April 26. He was also given another 20,000. A total the amount of $200,000 to Kalano, businessman George Kalano, who I know very well. Yeah. And according to the other reports, there were no contract between the Ministry of Health or the incident or Enfield stating that Kalano and then are entering into an agreement, but they went ahead selecting him. They also overstated contracts. This is a very dangerous one that when you do with donor money, it can haunt you. With detailed explanation using charts, it observed that the recalculation of the Precautionary Observation Center, that's a POC, that total contracts for COVID-19 for the period of February 2 to May 6, 2020 was value 1,000 or was value 1,318,435. That's United States dollars. And the amount was overstated by $84,880. Can you imagine? That one just went to the pockets of those people that gave the contracts to Kalano and others. You are watching LPR-TV live from Monrovia with issues of national concern. If you want to participate, you can just call that number that is on your screen, and then we're going to be glad to hear from you this hour. We were hoping to talk to some of our correspondents, but it seems that we cannot get to some of them. So LPR-TV is here to stay. We can do so many other things. If you wish, you can contact us, and then we can promote your products. We can promote issues of national concern on your behalf, and also do it for the betterment of your products. So you can contact us for your promotion, your events, and so forth. We can do it. We can organize a virtual event using our platform, and you're there going to enjoy it. So we continue with our conversation this hour on LPR-TV from Monrovia. And of course, in case you just coming our way, want to say thanks for joining us. Let's take a quick break to do some adjustment here. Ooh.
Just love is real. Though all things are possible, brothers and sisters to the world, let every nation worship in Jesus' name, in Jesus' name, in Jesus' name. We bound you, destroy you, in the name of Jesus.
Indeed, welcome back. Coronavirus, coronavirus is still in Liberia, even though the monies that people feel sorry for us and gave they are continuing to be misused by few individuals who found themselves at the hem of power here in Liberia. So it's very much damning. This report coming from the incident managed coming from the internal audit agency that has led to the deaths of some financial officials in Liberia. It's so damning. It's just the preliminary audit report. Imagine when the detailed report comes out, what's going to happen? We don't know. Already millions of dollars have been unaccounted for. We are It's our understanding that over $45 million was given to the government of Liberia for the fight of COVID-19, but yet and still uh, these monies have not been properly accounted for by the government of Liberia and other people within the government arena. So it's very much damning. It's absolutely frustrating for the people of Liberia actually for sort of reports coming from the government arena. So if you can call and participate on LPR-TV live from our central studio in Monrovia. We're going to take your calls if you wish to participate. The numbers right there on your screen. We will definitely take your calls. So wherever you are, in case you just come in our way, we want to say thank you for joining the program on Liberia Public Radio. This is where we discuss the issue. We don't discuss the personality. We discuss issues that are uh, in the interest of our country or issues that are deepening the democracy of our country. We discuss it right here Mama Liberia Public. Today, listeners are asked to tune in today to Liberia Public Radio for the forum with Mr. Alfonso Zion So and his so let's just acquaint you with what's going to be discussed on the forum today with Alfonso. Okay. Okay. So we are not getting to the topic yet, in the meantime, you can put your calls on. We anticipate your call in case you are out there, you want to participate. We're going to be glad to take your calls. We were hoping to hear from our correspondents, some of our correspondents, but unfortunately, we have not gotten to them. But howbeit, we're hoping that next time they will definitely call us so that together we can have a very civil conversation on issues today.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it stick. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. Open up your heart, let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful, sweet Liberia. Land of liberty is our home.
Welcome back to LPR-TV. Here we're watching issues of today. Wherever you are, I want to say welcome. It's 2 minutes to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2 p.m. or 3 o'clock in Monrovia. I want to say welcome in case you just coming our way. We've been discussing the audit report released by the Internal Audit Agency of Liberia. We've been discussing it. If you wish to participate, we will take your calls. We're going to take few calls if you wish to participate, and then we can just acquaint you with all the happenings around Liberia on issues of today. Um, like we initially start with from the discussion, we said political activities in Liberia is still are still placed on hold by the National Elections Commission. However, there have been some people who have been campaigning, but not officially after the ban on the campaign has been lifted. Uh, St. Moses, the owner of the St. Moses Adibojea, or it has a very a bit of difficult name. The owner of St. Moses Funeral Home has been in the hot water for some time now. According to reports, he took some Liberian children for a trip, but since then, the children are yet to return. According to the information, St. Moses, as he's commonly called in Liberia, has not given any account about the children, their well-being, whether they are alive. But we just getting reports from inside Liberia public radio that the children are alive, and they will soon be getting back to their family members. Meanwhile, earlier on, police spokesman Moses Kato has not given further clarification on the well-being of the children. While at the same time, we were hearing that Mr. Moses, who is commonly called Saint Moses, uh, was trying to abscond Liberia, that is to escape, but he was arrested at the Liberian Sierra Leone border, where that information has not been independently verified by Liberia Public Radio here. So we will give you some of the latest information uh, that are coming in. There have been speculation over the 13th bid of President George Monrovia. According to reports, when this referendum that is calling for the limitation of tenure or the reduction of tenure from 6 to 5 years, when this is approved, or when this voted yes, the current tenure by President George Weah will be null and void, and then he's going to start fresh his second tenure in 2024 if he wins that election. And so this has been a debate around the corners of Liberia. Again, we don't know how is it. This information is still not been verified. Again, the similar information we were getting from neighboring Guinea, that President Alpha Conde, who is the president of that neighboring country, was amending the constitution. So he was successful amending the constitution, and later on, he the constitution allows him to go for a 13B. So that's is just in similar line with the president of Liberia, according to information that we've been getting. But howbeit, we don't know, we cannot verify independently whether this will actually happen. Let's take another break to be right back on LPR-TV.
Yahweh, you are too much for me. Yahweh, Yahweh, oh, Yahweh, you are
So welcome back to LPR TV live from Monrovia. We're bringing you the latest happenings in Liberia. Collaborating political parties in Liberia have suspended their planned protest on or nationwide protest on October 8th, 2020. Reason to that we don't know yet, but according to information, the collaborating political parties has cut off its October 28 protest, which was intended to mount pressure on the National Elections Commission to clean up the 2017 voter roll. The CPP's decision was based on Associate Justice Siane Yo not to grant the CPP a writ of mandamus sought by them to compel the NEC to clean up the voter roll. They also called for the cancellation of the voter roll update conducted last month by the National Elections Commission. However, according to the CPP, their decision to call off the protest is based on the following reason. Pending Supreme Court ruling, the Supreme Court agreed to hear uh, their cases. That is what they said, filed and issued a stay order on the process pending the outcome of the hearing. The matter was heard last week, and the Supreme Court ruling is expected to be announced shortly. Meanwhile, the pending decision on the validation or the validity of the voter roll update, the formal ruling from NEC on the validity of the just ended voter roll is pending after a hearing by the NEC. So that was it. The arrival of ECOWAS technical team is one reason, according to the collaborating political parties, is one reason why they had to call off their protests. So we're going to bring you few other information before we just call a day off. Issues today we discuss the latest happenings on every Tuesday, then Thursday we discuss every happening about Liberia and the U.S. Or beyond, like we usually say. Okay, some residents of Monrovia County, that's in the Liberian capital, are saying that. If no electricity, no vote, most of our county district now resident vowed to boycott the national elections, the November or the December 8th election process. Several communities in district now have vowed not to participate in the if not to participate if their needs are not met by the national government. There are no need to keep voting for people who are not bettering the lives of Liberians. This is what they have been saying. So here for some time now, because many communities you go to, you won't see stable electricity. Even here at our studio at time, we have to use private generator, which is cost effective, very much exhaustive for us as a smaller media group. So again, communities are saying that they won't vote if at all their electricity needs are not met by the government. Again, that is what they are saying. So let's acquaint you with other events happening in Liberia as we continue with issues today. Welcome back to Issues Today, live from Monrovia. The war is recognizing Liberia's transformation. On we are, who is saying this, is no one else but the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Minister Tue. That's Samuel D. Tue Jr. is saying this. According to him, the government or Liberia has experienced tremendous of transformation since the coming to being of the Weale administration. The Minister of Finance and Development Planning says, despite the many social pressures President George Weah is standing firm to solve the OAH problems that the country is faced with. When this become all well, that's up to the public to know whether actually what he's saying is the truth, is Liberia problem an OH thing, or who is to fix Liberia problems. He made a statement when the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, launched the special budget preparation for fiscal year 2021 and 2022 at the ministerial complex in Congo Town. Well, that is his own observation, but again, political pundits will say that Liberia has now transformed under George Weah, but it has found out retrogress. Who is saying the truth? Is it him, or what actually is he saying? That is left with the public to analyze that. Senator Prince Johnson, in relation, Senator Prince Ward Johnson, who is a political leader of the a political party called National Movement for Democracy, uh, Reconciliation, Development, the MRD, MRD something. He says, he said President George Weah was ruled in the 13th after the passage of the December 8th referendum. Well, again, this has been several speculation about this. People are saying that when everything goes well, it means that the first tenure of Weah will be no involved because according to the Constitution of Liberia, laws are not retroactive. The current term of the presidency in Liberia is 6 years, and one person is to serve for at least two terms maximum. And then the latest amendment is calling for the president of Liberia to serve for at most two terms. That is, any president who intends to lead the country will not go above two terms. Evidenced by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who served for 12 years and then later on allow for the free uh, for opposition to go ahead and for other people to take office. So that is what Senator Prince Johnson is saying. But Senator Prince Johnson, like we of course, he's noted for making some controversial statements against his colleagues and even against his own people. So these are some of the latest training issues around Liberia. We want to say thank you for watching. If we can't get a call, we're going to take a uh, we're going to call it a day off for today. Sorry for that break. We're going to call it for a day today, and then hopefully on Wednesday we're going to be back. Well, that's all the time we have to do with you. That's all the time we have to do with you on issues today. We've been looking at several national issues, including the preliminary results or audits report coming from the Internal Audit Agency of Liberia, which are so damning. And we just hope that the public will judge, the public will see what actually comes out of this preliminary result or report coming from the Internal Audit Agency. Thanks for being there on behalf of the entire team here, our guys on camera, and also those of you who have been following us closely. Thanks to our team in the US as well for making this possible that the show is always on with the technical support, with the technical knowledge, making sure that things are always happening for good and happening for the good of everyone.